Have you ever wondered why these are the only main types of cancer treatments in this country? To understand how this situation developed, we have to briefly look at medicine back in the early 1900s. At that time, doctors were poor, had a low social standing, and, as a profession, had the highest rate of suicide. There were two opposing approaches to medicine: homeopathic and allopathic. Homeopaths practiced a natural, non-toxic therapy designed to boost the body's own healing powers, whereas allopaths were known for using toxic, unnatural treatments and trying to effect a cure. One of the best-known allopathic treatments was bloodletting, which had been practiced for centuries. One of the more famous cases involved George Washington, who had come down with a bad sore throat one night. To help relieve George of his symptoms, his doctors drained half the blood in his body during the course of the night. That didn't help, so they had George swallow 650 milligrams of mercury, giving him, in effect, a fatal dose of heavy metal poisoning. George Washington died the next day. He was killed by some of the best allopathic doctors in the country, who were treating a case of strep throat. By 1900, much of the public had had enough of these unnatural treatments, and homeopaths were stealing patients away from allopaths at an alarming rate. Around this time, the American Medical Association was formed as a doctors' union to counter the growing power of homeopaths. As a prominent member of the AMA stated, "We have never fought the homeopath on matters of principle. We fought him because he came into our community and got the business." The AMA set out to destroy homeopaths and other competitors. They began branding them as quacks while harassing and slandering them. Backed by big business, which smelled money in allopathic treatments, allopaths were able to change medical school curriculums, graduation requirements, and licensing laws to favor allopaths and drive out any competition. The allopaths emerged as the victors, not because they had better medicine, but because they had made alliances with key business interests, which saw that fortunes could be made with new emerging allopathic medical practices. The development of anesthesia and infection control meant a boon to surgery, and financial interests started investing in hospitals and medical schools. The advent of synthetic drugs meant fortunes could be made because, unlike natural remedies, synthetic drugs could be patented, which brought investors flocking into the pharmaceutical field. Anxious to capitalize on this, the AMA was quick to grant its seal of approval to any drug that was advertised in the AMA Journal. As a result, their advertising revenues soared. Coupled with ads from the tobacco industry, the AMA Journal soon became the most profitable publication in the world. In other words, conventional allopathic medicine's rise to power was due to the drug and tobacco money behind their medicine, not the patients they could heal. And it was profits, not proven medical benefits, that was behind the adoption and widespread use of surgery, radiation, and chemotherapy treatments for cancer. In order to police their marketplace, anyone who tried to practice any non-allopathic form of cancer treatment was quickly branded a quack and put out of business. During the course of the last century, the AMA, aided by the Federal Drug Administration and others, closed down hundreds of facilities which were using promising but non-allopathic cancer treatments. In fact, several treatments had cured thousands of patients. These were well documented, with reputable doctors confirming both the cancers and the cures. In the case against Dr. Max Gerson's nutritional treatments of cancer, Morris Fishbein, the head of the AMA, attacked Gerson for treating cancer patients with diet and warning them against cigarettes. Gerson had written extensive papers on his cancer therapy, which were published in the best European medical journals, but he was blackballed in the US, and only one of his papers was published.